Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's take a look at the current Premier League team that your side hasn't beaten in the longest time. I'm going to see which out of every current top flight team, which one your club hasn't managed to get a win against for absolute years. Right, let's go. Arsenal, West Brom, September 2017. Okay, for a fan base who complains more often than a pregnant goat, the fact Arsenal have beaten every current Premier League team at least once inside the last 3 years, it's not a bad record at all. Christ, with some of the fans over the top behaviour, you'd swear their club was on the brink of goddamn extinction. But yeah, you have to go all the way back to September 2017 to find the last time they beat West Brom, when Alexander Lacazette scored both goals in a 2-0 win at the Emirates, in a game where Tony Pulis probably felt like headbutting half his defence in the goddamn shower. Aston Villa, Man United, December 2009. Okay, Aston Villa's record against Man United is absolutely putrid. Christ love, they've only beaten them twice since 1999. Twice in 42 attempts. That is a special type of terrible. And their last win was back in December 2009, when Gabriel Bonlour scored the only goal at Old Trafford to drag Villa up to third in the league. Since then, they've just been used as Man United's chew toy. Since that Old Trafford win, they've conceded 37 goals against his club. And that was with United stumbling through their worst decade of football in nearly 40 goddamn years. In November 2012, they were even given a 2-goal head start at Villa Park and still managed to lose. The likes of MK Dons, Bristol City and a bunch of Kazakhstan plumbers, they've all beaten United within this time frame. Brighton have beaten them twice. And yet Villa, I suppose European champion, they're supposed to be a big club, just beat Man United. Brighton, Chelsea, January 1933. Okay, there are a bunch of teams Brighton haven't managed to beat in ages. Man City haven't lost to Brighton since April 1989, back when I wasn't even an afterthought of my father's scrotum. The Seagulls have also lost their last 9 games against Liverpool, conceding 27 goals in the process. They haven't actually beaten the Reds since January 1984. But lads, the answer here is still Chelsea. They kick off the new season against them, but lads, they haven't got a win over the Blues since their very first meeting back in January 1933. The score was 2-1 in the FA Cup, but lads, that was back before the goddamn war. Half the players were probably smoking at half time. They call this one the Joe Weller Derby, but in this fixture, Brighton have showed about as much fight as that fella in a boxing ring, i.e. they might as well have stayed on the goddamn couch. Burnley, Arsenal, December 2008. Okay lads, considering Arsenal used to wilt and die whenever they travelled to the cold, wet and windy Stoke, you probably all assume that the Gunners probably cough blood whenever they arrive at Turf Moor, that lonely ground where dreams go to die. Except, Arsenal haven't lost to Burnley in the last 14 meetings. The last time they did was in December 2008, a 2-0 defeat at Turf Moor in the League Cup. Lads, that was so long ago, that was the same month Alexandra Burke was winning the X Factor. Now I'm pretty sure she sells chicken rolls in Spar. And to be fair, this was an Arsenal second string littered with Fran Merida, Nicholas Bentner and Justin Hoyt, so does it even really count? Chelsea, Sheffield United, March 2007. Okay, to be fair, Chelsea have only played Sheffield United 4 times since the mid-90s, but still they qualified for this one. After Chris Wilder strangled 4 points out of the Blues last season, you have to go all the way back to March 2007 to find Chelsea's last win over the Blades. Although don't get me wrong, this is as comfortable as it gets. Jose Mourinho versus Neil Warnock. There was only ever going to be one winner. 3-0 at Stamford Bridge, even Andrei Shevchenko scored, and he resembled a 3-legged catwell in the Premier League. Although, it was also a game where Rob Holtz broke his leg. Considering he was the Blades' top scorer, and this was a relegation scrap, Warnock probably felt like swallowing his own fist. Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, February 2011. Yet again, Sheffield United is the answer. The Blades took 6 points from Crystal Palace last season, beating them 1-0 twice. So yeah, you have to go all the way back to February 2011 to find Palace's last win against this bunch. Again, the score was 1-0, with Darren Ambrose battering in a 25-yard volley at Sellers Park. This was a game where Palace had Nathaniel Klein and Wilfred Zaha on the pitch. So how was this ever a championship relegation scrap? Everton, Leeds, September 2003. Yeah, not the last time Leeds squeezed their way into this list. Now, to be fair, these teams haven't been in the same division since 2004, but still, Everton have had their chances to beat them since. Don't forget, Leeds dumped them out of the Capital Cup back in September 2012, with David Moyes showing yet again how little he knows about actually winning trophies. Even in their last Premier League meeting in April 2004, with a cash-strapped Leeds in utter freefall heading for the drop, while Moyes had arguably the most exciting teenage footballer on the planet in his team, even then Leeds somehow ground out a 1-0 draw at Elland Road. So you have to go all the way back to September 2003, back when Will Young was in the charts, to find a 4-0 win for Everton at Goodison Park, with Steve Watson scoring a hat-trick. Yes, the fullback. Fulham, Chelsea, March 2006. Yeah, this is the last team Fulham will want as their bogey side. Chelsea are supposed to be the local derby, yet the Cottagers have a full-blown meltdown every time they play them. They haven't won any of the last 19 meetings, going all the way back to March 2006, and it gets even worse. Fulham haven't won any of their previous 80 meetings before that game. So I make that 1 win over Chelsea in 38 attempts. So Fulham against Chelsea is like Derby County's baked potato of a team in 2008 versus the rest of the Premier League. This is an absolutely pathetic record. Anyway, yeah, the 1-0 win in March 2006 was courtesy of Luis Boa-Morte's strike against a Chelsea title-winning team who are already on the beach. Leicester, Man United, September 2014. Remember Leicester's thrilling comeback win over Man United in September 2014? Rallying from 3-1 down to win 5-3. That was a sign of things to come for this club. Since then, Leicester have embarked on the best era in their history, while Man United have just stumbled about like the town drunk. So you would have thought the Foxes would have beaten them at least once since then. No, United have avoided defeat against them in the last 12 meetings. But hey, Leicester have beaten everyone else in the league since then, so not too bad. Leeds, Liverpool, April 2001. Okay, to be fair, Leeds have been out of this division for a while, but so what? In the last 20 years, they've still managed to beat everyone in this league, and I do mean everyone. The furthest you have to go back is to April 2001, when they were flying high in the Champions League and winning 2-1 at Anfield with goals from Lee Boyer and Rio Ferdinand. But yeah, they haven't beaten Liverpool in any of the 8 games since. Liverpool, Leeds, November 2016. And weirdly for Liverpool, the answer is Leeds. Lads, under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool have already beaten all 20 current Premier League teams at least once. Just an insane record. He's beaten everyone. Even Leeds they've beaten, seeing them off 2-0 at Anfield in the EFL Cup quarter-final back in November 2016. Well, to be fair, Guy Monk's team were level until the last 15 minutes before Divock Origi and Ben Woodburn scored. Woodburn. Remember when he was supposed to be the next Michael Owen? Good Christ. This was so long ago. This was back when I was doing fan camps. Oh, good lord, what a farce. Man City, Leeds, February 2013. Yeah, Leeds are the answer yet again. Listen, Man City have also ripped apart every current Premier League team for the past 7 years. The furthest you have to go back to is February 2013, when they smacked Leeds about the park 4-0 in the FA Cup at the Etihad. But to be fair, putting Sergio Aguero, Carlos Tevez, David Silva and Yaya Toure up against Michael Brown, Stephen Warnock and Tom Lees, it was sort of overkill. With Jamie Ashdown in goal, you might as well have stuck an empty suitcase in the net. And what was Alhaj Juff supposed to do up front? Spit the City defence to death? Christ, it must be the easiest afternoon in Colo Toure's life. Man United, Leeds, September 2011. Yes lads, yet again, this might have been the most troubling decade at Old Trafford for about 40 goddamn years, but they've still managed to beat every current Premier League team within that time frame. But lads, those fans are probably relieved they drew Leeds away in the 2011 League Cup, because were it not for that 3-0 win, then their lasting memory of this bitter local derby would be that embarrassing FA Cup exit at Old Trafford when Leeds were in League One. But no, Michael Owen scored twice and Ryan Giggs got the other in a 3-0 win at Ellen Road. Newcastle, Liverpool, December 2015. Okay, I'm not sure how, but even this Newcastle team, who've had such a stale and bleak 5 years, they've still managed to beat every current Premier League team within that time frame. Chelsea haven't managed that, Man City haven't managed that, neither have Man United. But yes, somehow every single current Premier League team have lost to the Magpies at least once since 2015. The furthest you have to go back to is December 2015, when Gini Wijnaldum scored both goals in a 2-0 win over Liverpool in what was arguably his Reds audition. But this result meant that Steve McLaren, in the throes of a relegation dogfight, he actually masterminded a tactical victory over Jurgen Klopp. Good Christ! Sheffield United, Man United, February 1993. Okay, Sheffield United's record against Man United is absolutely pitiful. Having been 2-0 up at Bramall Lane last season, they should have already extinguished this record by now. But no, they haven't won any of the last 9 meetings. You have to go all the way back to February 1993 to find a Blades win, when Jamie Holland and Glyn Hodges scored in a 2-1 FA Cup 5th round win. But this was so long ago that Steve Bruce was starting at Man United at centre back, whereas nowadays he looks like he'd get a stitch after a trip to the goddamn toilet. Southampton, Leeds, March 2012. Again lads, Southampton have a really good record, beating every current Premier League team at least once since 2012. But yeah, March 2012 was the last time they beat Leeds, with Ricky Lambert scoring the only goal at Ellen Road in a championship promotion 6-pointer. The Saints did play Leeds in the League Cup later that year, and somehow lost 3-0, but that was also the same season where Bradford reached the final. Tottenham, Leeds, February 2010. Christ, I'm nearly picking Leeds for every team in this list. Again, Tottenham have managed to beat every current Premier League team inside the last decade. The furthest you have to go back to is February 2010, when they won an FA Cup replay 3-1 at Ellen Road, with Jermaine Defoe scoring a hat-trick. They did play them again in the FA Cup 3 years later, and lost 2-1 at Ellen Road. For a club with such an allergy to silverware, you'd think they'd be a bit more careful than losing to a team with Ross McCormack up front. West Brom, Man City, September 2010. Again lads, this is quite surprising that West Brom have beaten every current Premier League team inside the last 10 years. Every single one. Their record against Man City is laughable though. Ever since that financial takeover, they've barely laid a glove on them. Whereas during the noughties, they only lost 1 of 9 games against Man City. Now they've just lost 14 in a row, with their last win being a 2-1 League Cup win at the Hawthorns back in September 2010, with Simon Cox getting the winner. But to be fair, the City lineup was tough with Havan Medal, Ben Mee, Craig Cunningham, John Guidetti, and some lad with a dodgy browser history. West Ham, Leeds, November 2000. Okay, now you have to go back 2 decades for West Ham to complete the set. I'm sorry, but the recent record against Leeds is just awful. They haven't won any of the last 9 games against them, and this during the worst ever period in Leeds history. November 2000 was when Nigel Winterburn scored the only goal at Ellen Road, but even that was the Hammers' first win at the stadium for 22 years. To put it in context, West Ham have beaten Leeds just twice in the last 29 attempts, stretching all the way back to 1982. That is just horrible. Wolves, West Brom, May 2011. Okay, I doubt this record is going to last very long, considering the last meeting between these two was a 5-1 win for West Brom at Molyneux, a complete and utter embarrassment which lost Mick McCarthy his job, which eventually ended up with Wolves in League One. Now with money and an actually competent footballing squad, they're going to be so hungry to inflict complete and utter revenge on their Midlands rivals. Anyway, the last win over them was back in May 2011, with Stephen Fletcher scoring 2 in a 3-1 Molyneux win. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.